and it didn't go well. So I don't usually engage with him too much, to be honest with you.
Skylar, what's your position on morality?
I think you know my position on morality.
No, I don't. How would I know it?
I don't know, because you're always in my comments and watching my show.
I haven't watched your show in years. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, I'm a moral subjectivist.
Well, I mean, that's
You
really
have a
broad,
question?
right?
You have a question you would like to ask?
Oh, well, that's really broad. But so what, you think your preferences are like true and false?
Oh, that's a fact.
Your like
No,
morality.
that's not how preferences work.
Oh, how does it work?
Well, a preference isn't a preference isn't like a fact.
Right. So what do you have independent of your preferences to appeal to when it comes to morality?
Well, I mean, you don't do that in subjective morality.
What do you appeal when you declare that something is right or wrong? How are you and what inference are you making?
Do you know what subjective morality is, Godless?
Yeah, like
I know you. I know you're smarter than this to asking these questions. I mean, if you have a real question for him, we could
why
talk
don't you
about it.
just answer? I
I
don't
feel
understand why the question is difficult for you
like
to answer.
I feel like you're just kind of beating around the bush. You want to make an argument, but it doesn't seem like you really want to make the argument.
Look, I don't think if well, I was going to make the argument if you admitted that it was based on your preferences, but I guess you're saying that it's based on something else other than your preferences?
I mean, what do you think subjective morality is?
Well,
It's based on your
there's
emotions.
like fucking 18 different positions of moral subjectivists, right? So you haven't told me which one you are.
Yeah, I don't go any further than that.
Okay,
I
so
just
when
say
you declare something is
I'm
right
not
or wrong, what are you
philosophy by
basing
any
it on?
means. Hold on one second. Hold on. We're gonna have this conversation. I'm gonna stream it because we're gonna do this. I might as well go back and forth with you.
Hey, Skyler, I'm going to leave the replay up too if that's easier for you.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, it's gonna take me one. I'm literally about to in 5 seconds share screen. I'll have it up here for the audience to be able to watch it. There we go. So you're asking me what I base my moral preferences on? Is that what you're asking, Godlessgirl?
When you say something is right or wrong, you're
Uh-huh.
saying that like that's subjectively true. See, I'll tell you my position. I'm a moral non-cognitivist, so
Uh-huh.
I don't think that moral propositions are true or false. I think they're neither true or false because I think that when people say like, "Oh, something is wrong," all they're saying is that they don't like it, and it's just the same thing as saying I don't like vanilla. So that's not true. When you say vanilla is yucky, that's not true or false, right? It's just somebody saying yuck vanilla. So do you have something independent of your preferences to uh when you say something is right or wrong, well, like what inference are you making? And are you appealing to something independent of your preferences? Or are you just saying you don't like it?
I think I just agree with you. I think I agree. I don't
Oh, so
think
you're not a moral subjectivist. So now you're backpedaling.
No, I believe non-cognitivism is a part of moral subjectivism. But I may be wrong. I might be wrong. That's it. I don't study philosophy. I'm not a philosopher.
Yeah,
I
I'm a moral
moral,
I'm a moral anti-realist. So I don't think that moral propositions are true or false. I think I'm an
I don't
emotivist.
I don't either.
Oh, so you don't think that things are right or wrong?
I don't think in the same way that you're talking about it. I don't agree they're right and wrong. Yeah, they're not facts. They're not moral facts. They're opinions. Morals are opinions. Emotions. I've looked into emotivism. Is that what you call it? And I kind of agree with
Emotivism.
that. It's a way of just saying you're expressing your feelings about something.
Okay, because you started, it seems like you're changing your tune here because you started off, oh, Godless, I'm a moral subjectivist, and I think you already know that, and you're asking stupid questions, like you were acting like I was asking stupid questions, but now you're just saying you agree with me?
No, I think what you're doing, you're trying to be argumentative. I'm not a big fan of you, to be honest with you. I don't really think you're a good person. So I don't really like talking to you.
Wait, what's good mean there? What's the good? What are you
Well,
appealing to?
I have a certain definition of good, and you wouldn't fall under it.
Well, what's your definition of good? What are you appealing to
So
that's independent of your preference?
food stamps and goes and buy lobster and then makes a video for attention, like that's
Yeah,
not good.
you're saying that's not good? So when
Yeah,
you're saying that's not good, what are you saying?
not a good thing. You don't have to agree with me. I don't care if you agree with me. Obviously, you don't. You do those type of things.
Look, I'm just saying you said you think I'm not a good person, right? So I'm asking you, what do you mean by that? What is good?
It's an opinion.
Right, so it's not even true that I'm not a good person.
I don't like it. I don't. I
Yeah,
think.
that's all you're saying is that you don't like it. So it's not even true. What you're saying isn't even true.
Of course, it isn't because they're not moral facts.
Yeah, so you misspoke when you said I'm not a good person because that
Oh,
doesn't, it's not a proposition, right?
no. Under my opinion, you're not a good person. I have my own personal moral standard.
But look, your opinion is neither true or false. So like you're putting it, you're trying to
False.
sneak in it into a proposition by saying you are not a good person. You're trying to
Opinions
make it
aren't
sound
true
like
or
a
false,
proposition.
Captain Obvious.
What?
I said obviously opinions aren't true or false, Captain Obvious.
Okay, so then you misspoke when you said you're not a good person.
point is you're just trying to be argumentative. We don't even necessarily disagree.
No, she has a legitimate question. Is anyone a good person?
I think Skylar's just saying it's not in accord with his preferences or something.
Yes, that's a better way to say it. Here's an easy way to say it. It's that simple. You don't have to like my opinions or my preferences. It's totally up to you.
Look, I'm not objecting to your preferences. I'm objecting to you saying you are a moral subjectivist, which now I guess you're backpedaling on that.
What term do you think I should use?
Well, if you agree with me,
what I'm saying to you.
If you agree with me, then you're a moral non-cognitivist.
Okay, we can say that. That's fine.
So when I asked you what your position was, and you were like, "Oh, well, Godless, I think you know what my position was," that was a pretty fucking stupid, retarded, asinine, moronic, foolish thing to say, because you don't even know what your fucking position is. You didn't even know what the fucking name of it. You didn't even. You call yourself a moral subjectivist, and you don't even know what that is.
Godless.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry for swearing on your stage, James. I forgot I was in your room.
I'm saying, well, regardless, you just gotta chill. Even if you weren't swearing, like, just chill.
Yeah, I think he's been exposed for being.
Can I jump in?
Oh yeah.
This is the problem with this stance, to be honest.
I would like to ask Skylar, what makes a person good?
Well, I have a definition of good, and under my standard, I would have a certain preference of what I would call good.
Can you explain? Can you give more details, please?
No, I can't. I don't know where I would give you any more details. I mean, you want specific examples of what I would find good?
Yeah, like what are the things that you are looking into a person in order to determine if they are good or not?
Qualities of a person, yeah, like kindness, actually, kind of the stuff that Jesus talked about. Actually, I'm a fan of Jesus and what he kind of told people to do.
Why don't you become a Christian then?
Man, maybe I will one day, man.
So basically, a good person has to be Christian, right?
No.
Yeah, well, technically that's true, because the only people that are good are the people that are good through the justifying work of Christ.
So basically, a good person is someone who won't do anything bad because they're afraid of punishment.
I didn't say that. I said that the
I'm
only
gonna
people that are
this is what religion is all about.
No.
You have to follow some rules.
One second, Saj, wait, just point of moderation. I'm gonna link my YouTube channel above. I'm gonna put some of these conversations still periodically on there if you enjoy this. Skylar is also streaming on his channel. He has about, I think, 5,000 subscribers. I just gave him a subscribe. Godless has a YouTube channel as well. We can keep this popcorn style as long as we stay on topic and people don't cut each other off too bad. Go ahead, Jess.
Yeah, I just wanted to correct that. I think it was Sajal. No, you're not good because of your good works. You're good because you have faith in Christ, and that's not a goodness that should be measured by deeds done by you, but the deeds done by Christ, right? So you're looking at a doctrine of imputation, right? You're saying you're good by proxy. You're good by association. You're not good inherently. That's what that means.
Many criminals have faith in Jesus.
Then they are
so
good.
Are they good? Okay, thank you.
By the way, I do have just one comment about your preference, Skylar. So put morality aside. I guess you disagree with me about morality. I find it really bizarre because when I think of ethics, I just think of maximizing well-being and minimizing suffering. So I find it really bizarre when people get so emotional about my welfare queen video.
Well, you don't do that.
It's completely harmless, right? There's absolutely no harm done to anyone, but people get
your
so upset. It's bizarre to me. That's all.
Well, you're a hypocrite. You don't follow your own standard. You just gave me. You don't follow.
I'm just saying my welfare queen video is not doing any harm to anyone.
Oh, it's not doing any harm by abusing the welfare system or food stamp system and making people think it's a joke when people really need that stuff.
It is a joke, though. I mean,
look, do you think that someone's gonna have less food stamps because I fed my dog lobster?
No, I think what you do is you cause doubts about the system, and you show examples of things that most people don't do, which is abuse the system.
Most people.
So what do you think? Some new policy that's gonna not give people food stamps is gonna be implemented because of my video?
I think, like I said, I'm not going to repeat myself, but you're also kind of a terrible person. I've heard about the things you and your boyfriend do, or your ex-boyfriend, or your boyfriend, about restaurants and trying to get free food and the shady things you do. I'm very aware of what you do.
Let's just concentrate on one thing at a time. So what harm? Who has the welfare queen video harmed? What harm has it done?
I already said it. If you didn't hear me, I'm not going to repeat myself.
Well, no, what you said didn't make any sense because you said I'm making people doubt. So what harm is people doubting the welfare queen system? As long as no policies are implemented because of my video, then what difference does it make? Does people's doubt make? How is that harmful? How is making people doubt harming anyone?
It doesn't matter to you, is what you should say.
No, I'm asking who is it harming? How is causing people to doubt? Let's assume some like random asshole changed their position on the welfare system because of my video. Who is that harming?
Like I said, I'm not repeating myself. I've already said what the harm was. And this is such
No,
a
you said that you tried to claim that people doubting was a harm, but I don't understand who that's harming and how it's harming.
Let me interject for a moment. What is the harm caused by that? Hold on. I'm trying to moderate. So what's the harm caused, Skylar?
No, I said I don't care if she doesn't understand my point. I don't care if she doesn't think that there's any harm to it.
Well, I'm trying
don't.
to understand your point.
Well, the point was originally, like I said, when you do stuff like make videos for attention because you're so desperate for attention that you have to make videos where you have food stamps and you abuse it, you buy lobster and feed it to your dog for attention. It makes people get the impression that there are lots of people like this that do this, and then you can have negative effects on the system. It's there's great books by Malcolm Gladwell, like The Tipping Point is a great book, and it's how these little factors build up to much bigger problems. So that's my overall point. If she doesn't get it, I don't care.
So now you're changing it to, it could affect the system. So what are you claiming? That my video could possibly like implement some policy, some new policy or something?
And apparently you're not listening to me or you don't understand me. Once again, I don't care if you don't understand.
Jesse, do you understand what causing doubt is, what harm it's doing?
Did you just ask me a question, or
yeah,
sorry?
I didn't really hear him point out what harm it's doing.
Sounds like a slippery slope appeal.
Have you ever read The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell?
That's actually a really good point, P. Mars. He's committing the slippery slope fallacy. You committed an error in reasoning.
Excuse me, sorry, my language.
You committed an error in reasoning.
Called my children N-words.
You committed an error in reasoning. It's called the slippery slope fallacy.
If I had to steelman Skylar's point as best I can, he's saying that by you doing that video, that it puts a doubt on the validity of whether or not the welfare program is helping people truly in need, or if it needs to be revisited. And so that could have an effect where they shrink the net or they make more requirements. And in that case, more people might not get attention that they need.
Thank you.
Was that
Appreciate
fair,
you.
Skylar?
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair assessment. And by the way, I will not communicate with P. Mars. He actually called my children the N-word before. I have no respect for him, and he's a blatant racist. But hey, someone told me I should mention your cats. Is there something about your cats, Godless Girl?
That's only half true.
Well, look, I mean, look, regardless, I can say I work in the system of the impoverished, I guess you'd say, is probably the best way to place it. Look, in individuals who receive food stamps, by and large, there are individuals who do need help, but I think that should be left up to private institutions, right? Predominantly the church. The majority of individuals I do work with do, in fact, abuse food stamps, and it's just simply not a good system. It's just a overarching umbrella that if you fall under a certain income level and you receive certain free benefits by the government, this, in fact, incentivizes and motivates the continuance of bad behavior, bad decision making, because there are no consequences in the realm of sustenance for
what would be the difference in the church doing it? If the church was the one giving the charity, they could still abuse the money.
Individual discretion, right? So
churches. But how would the church know if somebody was abusing the money? Because they don't follow them home and watch them.
No, in fact, they do, because they live in that community, right? So churches are local institutions full of congregants who live in the community of these individuals and can, by their discretion, as they do with church discipline in their own congregation.
I'm sorry, that's just not how it works. I mean, yes, they could be in the community.
No. What your comment was is that's not how
they can live in the community. No, in the community, they can. Yes, they can be in the community. They can't watch them at home. They can't watch them when they're buying stuff. Just because I have plenty of people in my community that I know and talk to. They don't get to see the things that I do in private.
That's not the argument, Skylar. I'm not arguing that church congregants possess the attribute of omniscience as God said. Yes, it is. I said specifically.
I never said the word omniscience.
I didn't say that you said that. I'm making.
Then why would you bring up the word omniscience?
Because it's an analogy, Skylar.
I'm not talking analogies.
Oh, I am. So stop talking. It's an analogy precisely because all that it is an analogy. That's all that it is. So what I'm saying is that compared to the federal government or the state government, as is in Ohio, right? Local congregants, people of these private nonprofit institutions are much more closely and intimately aligned or living in proximity with the recipients of these benefits, right? Our church chooses who to benefit based precisely upon.
But that doesn't help everybody.
Yeah, not everybody deserves help. Some people.
That's so. Yeah, some people don't deserve help that are poor.
No. Let me rephrase that. It's not even about deserving help. What it's about precisely is whether or not an individual malevolently abuses the aid that
Yeah,
they
but how
receive.
would they know?
Because I know it, because I work in the system. I see these people every single
What
day, and I
system do
can
you
tell
work in?
you.
Explain it. I don't
I work
understand
for a nonprofit behavioral health institution, and I can tell you that the predominant majority of my client base should not receive benefits from the
Why?
government, because all
Why?
that they do is they abuse those benefits.
How?
They then manipulate.
How do they abuse the
You,
benefits? I don't understand what
Skylar,
you're saying.
Skylar, you cannot keep asking me how.
No, I wanted,
Why?
but you're not explaining how they abuse the benefits. You're just saying they abuse the benefits and that you observe it. How do they abuse the benefits?
Yeah, so for example, they will sell those benefits at half price for drugs. Then they utilize, for example, meth, and then they go attack their neighbor, and then they incur criminal charges because they had the access of selling those that
That's a
aid given to
perfect
them by the
example.
government.
So let me respond to your perfect example here, right? So the real problem isn't that they don't deserve help with money, food, is that they have a drug problem that they need help
Yeah,
with,
so the solution
right?
is that
Right? What you need to solve is the drug problem. It's not a welfare or food stamp problem. You have a drug problem because once people get addicted to drugs, they make all kinds of bad
no, I
decisions,
didn't say
and
that
those people
I didn't
deserve
say that
help.
that was a universal. Right?
Yeah,
I
if
didn't
there
say that
wasn't
in every
drugs,
instance.
it'd be something else. Like
I
people
didn't say
abusing
that
their
in
property.
every instance where an individual you abuses the benefits or the aid given to them by the government, it results in drug abuse. That's one
No one
instance.
said that. I just used the example you were talking about and referenced it. We didn't say that there weren't other examples. You just straw man my position now.
I'm not, no, there's no straw manning of it because I said that was one example of many.
Yeah,
And
and
you
I
said that's
responded to
not
your
a
one
problem.
example.
And how you responded to it was by saying that's not a problem with the food benefit system. Allow me to provide another example that can
Perfect.
further
But I
show
just
how
want to
it's
say
a problem
I
with the
was
food
going
benefit
against your
system.
example, right? Now, if you want to give another example, we can give another example. But what I was specifically doing was targeting the example that you gave me. So what's another example of why people abuse the food stamps?
Why
A lot of
people
people
abuse?
sell their food stamps.
Yeah,
Like
why
you're
people
probably one of
abuse
those
their
people,
food
Godless.
stamps? I mean, for example, we could just take what Godless gave, where, for example, I don't know if it's you or Godless, but for example, you take your food stamps and what you do is you go buy lobster. No, you shouldn't be in a position if you're impoverished in a capitalistic system that affords you the ability to ascend that kind of ladder. You should not be afforded the ability to buy lobster.
What standard are you
But
appealing to when you say they should not be able to do this?
a divine standard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do you know you're allowed to buy live lobster with your food stamps? Why are you even allowed to do that?
I mean, listen, guys. I mean, you're just telling me you don't like it. That's fine. Now he said a divine standard.
Listen,
What divine
according
standard
to
are you
you, all
talking about?
morality comes down to what you like or what you do not like. So
I
what's the
know, but
problem with
you
that?
said a divine standard. So what divine standard are you speaking
You
of?
should get some
The
caviar.
divine standard is precisely outlined in, I think it's First Timothy. I'll have to Google it. I'm pretty sure it's First Timothy 6, but it says, "Those who do not work do not eat." We affirm that.
But
Absolutely.
but it's not like people just don't want to work, man.
Yes, it is. Actually, I work
Oh
in
yeah,
that
so
field
yeah,
with
that's
people.
bullshit. Excuse
No,
me.
no, no, no.
Sorry,
Because
came first. Sorry,
you're
trying not to
appealing
push it.
not even merely to an anecdote, because you could
Do you
chop
have data?
what
Do you have
I'm
any
saying.
data to back up what you're arguing?
Any data? I don't need data. I work in the field. I'm giving
Okay,
you
well, can
anecdotal
we get
evidence.
data from
Now
your
look,
field?
what
You're just
you're
talking about your
arguing,
personal experience. But
Skylar,
a private organization
Skylar.
that I'm in a church that I don't even know if it's legit.
I don't care if you know that it's
Well,
legit or
then I
not.
don't care about your story because I
There
have
could
no
be
way to
many
back up any of your
churches.
information.
Skylar, number one, if you're going to argue that I need some kind of like peer-reviewed article or peer-reviewed statistics that actually back up what I'm saying, well, then guess what I can just do? I can say the inverse, that you should likewise provide those resources
Mhm.
for us to assess. Beside that being the
Yeah, if you
point, I'm
looked at
allowed to give.
the welfare
Beside that being
statistics.
the point, Skylar, I'm allowed
Yeah,
to give
I
anecdotal
know
evidence.
God,
Precise.
you talk a long
Stop.
time.
Let me finish my sentence. Beside that being the point, I'm perfectly well and allowed to provide anecdotal evidence precisely because I work in the field where I assume you do not.
Well,
Is that
I don't know
correct?
if you actually work in the field. You work in a
I don't care
private
if you
group.
know it or not.
Well,
I don't
hold on. I'm
care.
going to
Do
speak
you
now.
know that the
I'm going to
sun will
speak
rise
now.
tomorrow, Skylar?
Did
No, no,
Jesus
we're going to
ask
mute you for
people?
a second because I want to ask very specific questions. Do you know that that the sun will rise tomorrow? Do you know that? Because you making rebuttals, well, I don't know that, is meaningless. You're muted, by the way. You can unmute yourself. I just wanted to address something specific that you said.
So, did Jesus ask people if they were working when he fed them?
Was the point to feed them?
Now, I'm asking you, did Jesus ask people if they were working when he fed them? Or did he
No.
ask them if they were working when he healed the sick?
But
So
that's
I'm going to give you an
different.
answer.
Jesus didn't live in a capitalist society.
I'm
That
going
shows
to
that
answer
Christ
you.
is
Oh
lying.
my God, Captain Obvious, God,
Hold on. I'm
Lord.
going to answer you. Hold on. I just muted you for a second because I'm going to answer you.
You're not
Okay,
going to
but you
mute
have
me
to
or
give
I'm
me
going to
enough
leave
room.
because we're not going to play this game where you mute me.
I'm
You can
not.
have
I'm not
decent.
trying
Are
to.
you like? Why are you like trying to control the conversation?
Because I'm trying to respond to specific questions that you've typed.
In fact, I don't even want to talk to you anymore. Is there anybody else I can talk to? I
He's
really
gonna
got
run away.
relationships.
He's running away.
Oh God,
I
I'm
just.
running away. Hey, what's up with your cats, Godless girl?
What cats? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Oh, you